So today, students are going to work on the whatever worksheets they want, but I thought I would spend some time actually going through the 3.6 worksheet. And before we do that, I just kind of wanted to go back through the idea and the concept in 3.6. Tax brackets, anything that you look at that are dealing with brackets, there's going to be other situations in life where you might have to think about this, and it is kind of a tricky thing. So it's all based on your taxable income. So when we talk about taxable income, we talk about after you have what we call write-offs. So there's you get allowances or credits for people in your family that you are responsible for providing for. So if it's you and your spouse, or you or you and the family, it's going to depend on what category you're in. Okay, so as a student, you're just going to be a single. As a family or somebody that's married, you're going to be in this married filing jointly, most likely. And then there's these other two categories that I'm not exactly sure exactly how you fall in them. Okay, but what this says is you're going to take your taxable income. And so we're going to assume that any income that we deal with in our class is our taxable income. We've already taken off the credits and the write-offs because that gets really tricky and hairy. And if you make donations to a nonprofit or a church, things like your your house payment, the interest that you pay on your house, you get to write that off. So we're going to assume all that's been taken care of. Then you take your income and you find the category that you fall in. So if you're a single person, you're going to figure out which category you fall in, and then that's going to be your tax bracket. But we don't pay taxes at that percentage on all of your money. Part of your money only gets taxed at 10%. And that part in this category for this year of 2018 up here is $9,525. Then any money that falls in this category, so the difference between 38,000 and this 9,525 is 29,175. So that amount of money is going to be taxed at 12%. Okay. So there's another way I like to think about this. So if we thought of my paper here as that $42,000. So if we thought of this paper as that whole $42,000, right? Yeah. Okay. So I've got this piece of paper. This is all of that person's $42,000 that we talked about here in the lesson. We're going to break it into groups. So the first group is the $9,525. And this is going to be taxed at 10%. So that is $952.50 at 10%. Okay. So we're going to take that $42,000 and subtract away the first 9,525. Okay. So 42,000 minus 9,525. So they have $32,475 left to be taxed on. Okay. So that means they still fall in this category, because this category here is 38,700 minus 9,525. So if you have $29,175 left to be taxed on in your amount, in your income, which we do, we have more than that, then we have to be taxed. That whole chunk that falls in this category gets taxed at 12%. Okay, so 12% of 29,175 means that they're going to pay $3,501 on this amount of their income. Okay, so I'm going to continue to subtract. So this is bracket 1. And then I'm going to subtract the 29,175. So 32,475 minus 29,175. So they have 3,300 left in bracket 3. And then this is going to be bracket 3. Now they don't have to pay all of bracket 3 because they only bumped into that because that 42,000 fell into here. So they only bumped into that 3,300. So that would be the last 22% on that last $3,300 of their money. So this is all of their money, 10% of their money. I meant this is their, if we add these 3 up, this should be all of their income. It's just this chunk of it gets taxed at 10% rate, this chunk gets taxed at 12%, and the last chunk gets taxed at 22%. So that's why when they say, excuse me, you fall into the 22% tax bracket, it doesn't mean all of it gets taxed at 22%. It just means a portion of it does. So 0.22 times 3,300 means that 726. So this is where I like to show that just to make sure that these amounts do add up to their 42,000. 29,175 plus 33. So there's their 42,000. So when you break down your categories, your brackets, and those percentages, you should be able to add these up, and that should be your total income. Does that make it a little more clear, Stephen, on that?
Yes.
Okay, so for the larger audience, let's go ahead to that worksheet. I'd rather work on this together and know that everybody's understanding it so that you will get a good takeaway for your project than to trip you up. That's not really the goal. It might seem like it sometimes, but that's really not my goal. So let's look at this together. Are you ready, Stephen? You're my main person. Okay. So it says the highest paid job in Michigan is a surgeon with an entry level of 195,670. So this is a 2017 tax bracket for single filers, and this is a 2018. So we're assuming that the surgeon is not married yet. They've been in school too long. They haven't had any time to date. So it says calculate the 2017 taxes, assuming the median salary is the taxable income. So when they say median salary, they're just saying, assume that this 195,670 is their taxable income. So they actually probably made more than that. They just had some write-offs and some donations and things like that. And this is what they're going to be taxed on. Okay. So let's go up here and find out where they are. What tax bracket do they fall in? If you want to join in, Stephen, you can. What tax bracket?
The 33%.
The 33. So they fall in this tax bracket because 195,670 is in between here. Okay, so that means they're going to pay some tax at 10%, some of their money taxed at 15%, some of their income tax at 25%, some of their income tax at 28%, and then a little bit tax at 33%, the part that falls in there, right? So we're going to have a 10%, a 15%, a 25%, a 28%, and then a 33%. Excuse me. This morning. Okay, so the 10% is easy because that's just that very first chunk. And so that's 9,325. They're going to be taxed at 10%, all of that first chunk. So that should be $932.50. Then the next chunk gets taxed at 15%. And we have to find out what that chunk is. And it's by taking this top upper value and subtracting this previous upper value. So that difference of 37,950 minus 9,325. Not the upper minus this lower, but it's upper minus upper. Okay. So 37,950 minus 9,325 is 28,625. So they're going to be taxed. So this is their tax rate. So they're going to be taxed 15% on 28,625 of their salary. Are we in agreement on that amount? Just so.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, excuse me. The next amount is going to be 25% of the upper of the next category, so 91,900 minus 37,950. So 91,900 minus 37,950 is 53,950. This part of their income, so $53,950 of this surgeon's income is getting taxed at 25%. And so that 25% is 13,487.50. So I'm circling all their tax amounts. So remember this tax up here, this 10%, this is the 15%, this is the 25%. Okay, so now they get taxed on all of the chunk in the 28% tax bracket. So that's taking the upper in the 28%. So 191,650, subtracting the previous upper of 91,900. And notice you can see where these are the same, because the upper here gets used as the lower, and then the upper here gets used as the lower, and then the upper here gets used as the lower. So the difference in this one is 99,007. Oh, I think, oh, 91,650 minus 91. Is 99,750, and that gets taxed at 28%. And that tax is $27,930. He pays a lot of taxes. So when we say that people that make a lot of money don't pay a lot of taxes, they do pay a lot of taxes. Okay. Okay, so then the next is not the entire next category, which would be the 416,700 as the upper. We are using his income because that's the top of what he made, right? So we're using his salary, which is 195,670 minus the 191,650. So he pays 33% on the last $4,020 of his income. And that comes out to be $1,326.60. Now, we have to add these up. So make sure you're including the first 932.50 plus the 4,293.75 plus 13,487.50 plus 27,930 plus 13,26.60. So he pays 47,970.35. So $47,970.35. Which, if I divide that out of his salary, he's actually paying almost 25% of his entire salary is going to taxes. So even though only a little bit of it is getting taxed at the 33% rate, almost all, on average, his entire income is getting taxed at almost 25%, 24.5%. So it's important for us to recognize that when we say that people that make a lot of money don't pay a lot of tax, they really do. Because if you fall in one of these tax categories up here, you're definitely not paying an average of 25%. You're only paying an average of about 12%. Okay. So I want to make sure that I had covered his whole salary. So that means my groupings in parentheses here, right? My chunks should add to be his salary. So let's add 9,325 just to be sure, plus 28,625 plus 53,950 plus 99,750 plus 40,20. And we get 195,670. Did that help on that?
Yes, it did.
So I'm going to let you work now and see what questions you have on the second part.